Stage 7 of the 2025 Tour of Poland, and it was time trial day. Starting in the historic town of Ziliczka, we headed west into the countryside before turning round and coming back. Relatively simple, more or less a rectangular course, extra little kink before the finish. And the biggest challenge was the 2-kilometre climb that faced the riders more or less the instant they dropped out of the start house. Max Walker from EF Education made the early running. From the early starters, he took a fairly comfortable lead, navigated one or two little hazards on his way back into town before making it up to the little rise to the finish line to get himself into the hot seat where he was to sit for maybe 15 or 20 minutes before the next challenge arrived in the shape of Ben Turner. Slightly unexpected challenge in the time trial from the white jersey wearer of the points classification. But Ben Turner set about proving that he can't just sprint, he can do more or less anything, and he's a very classy time trialist. He took a couple of seconds lead from Max Walker at the intermediate split, and then dodged the potholes on the finishing straight to take a lead of just over 4 seconds, with maybe half the field left to finish. Yet to finish included Stefan Kung, the Swiss time trial star, former European champion in the discipline, Grand Tour time trial stage winner, and one of the hot favourites for the day, but he had no answer to Ben Turner's time, missing out by slightly more than a second to produce what is by his very high standards slightly disappointing ride. Ben Turner, on the other hand, got to celebrate, hang on a little longer, and add his name to the relatively short list of people who've beaten Stefan Kung in the time trial. The next epoch-shifting moment was from Lorenzo Milesi, who took a 3-second lead over Ben Turner up the top of the hill and backed that up on his way back down the hill into town to stretch that out to 7 seconds. And we were going to see as the race went on what a great second half Lorenzo Milesi rode, because he hung on for a long time, largely based on that tremendous second half. Matteo Sobrero, well, he was in front of Lorenzo Milesi at that intermediate split, a fairly slender margin that was under 2 seconds, but still, by the time he got down to the finishing straight, that had turned into a near 3-second deficit. Jan Christian, one of the GC contenders, came and went, finishing 12 seconds down, consolidating a position in the top 10. Antonio Tiberi from Bahrain Victorious had come into the day placed third in general classification to ride a solid time trial, and he did exactly that. He was 3 seconds down at the intermediate on Lorenzo Milesi, and he was 3 seconds down on his countryman when he got to the bottom of the hill as well. But Brandon McNulty probably came into the day as the favourite for the stage, maybe the favourite to take the general classification as well, and he backed that up because he was leading by 19 seconds at the intermediate from Lorenzo Milesi. We saw a little again how Lorenzo Milesi's second half, the strength of that, because he held off Brandon McNulty in the second half of the race, but McNulty still took the overall by nearly 13 seconds. All he had to do was hold off this man, Victor Langelotti, the Monegasque rider from Ineos Grenadiers, who had such a spectacular ride the day before to put himself into the general classification lead and the yellow jersey coming into today, but not a hugely experienced time trialist. His team knows everything there is to know about it. He's a relatively new rider for them, and all of that hasn't quite rubbed off just yet, because the clock went red for him, came in 45 seconds down, lost that yellow jersey to the young American Brandon McNulty, who you can see at the top of the stage classification. Took that out by nearly 17 seconds from Lorenzo Milesi, Matteo Sobrero, and you can see just as he crosses the line, he already knows, the team director in the car behind him told him, he knows he's won the stage, he knows he's won the GC, already, big smile, and a little bit of a thump of the front wheel to celebrate. So he took out the stage, he took out the GC from Antonio Tiberi from Bahrain Victorious, from Matteo Sobrero from Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, from his teammate Jan Christian, UAE Team Emirates, and a 5th place, Victor Langelotti from Ineos Grenadiers, who had such a standard week but couldn't quite hold it all off at the end.